Back when I started this channel in 2009, Fred was the king. Run by this guy named Lucas, he played a little kid with a really high-pitched voice, and at the time he was growing rapidly, with him being the first person to pass 1 million subscribers, which was at the time a really big deal. Although I personally found his content hard to watch, there's no doubt that he was the highest paid person on this website at the time, since he had a contract with Nickelodeon that gave him 3 movies and his own TV show. Since then, the YouTube game has changed quite a bit, so today I wanted to talk about who is currently the highest paid person on YouTube. And I want to make it very clear from the start that these are all educated guesses. I do not know the exact numbers of what a person makes, but I can look at their stats and try to come up with a rough estimate. The biggest reason I'm making this video is because a lot of people say it's Pewdiepie, and that is not the case. In fact, he is not even close. The reason a lot of people say it's Pewdiepie is because back a few years ago, his channel boomed in popularity with all the other Let's Play channels at the time. Felix was growing his channel so quickly that it made Fred look minuscule in comparison. He was able to produce his content extremely quickly, and he had an audience there that was willing to watch everything he put out. So about 2 years ago, I would agree that he was the highest paid person on this website, but that isn't the case anymore. The fact is, PewDiePie's audience is not as active as it once was. While he has an impressive subtotal, most of them aren't tuning in to watch his videos. And this is by no means just a PewDiePie problem. Look at my followers, most of them aren't watching my videos either. The simplest stat to look at on somebody's YouTube channel to see how much money they're making is their monthly views. And if you look at PewDiePie, he's getting about 200 million a month, which is very good and will get you a very comfortable salary. But then if you look at somebody like Ryan Toy Reviews, you may have not heard of him, but he plays with toys on his channels and entertains toddlers. Now let's look at his stats. He's getting a total of 600 million views a month. Every time I see an article about the highest paid YouTubers, PewDiePie's name is always front and center, but then I look for Ryan's Toy Reviews and he's nowhere to be seen, even though he gets 3 times as many views as Felix. Now I know what you may be thinking to yourself, how on earth could a little kid that's just opening up toys on his channel be getting so many views? And the answer to that question is actually pretty simple. Very young children. There's a new generation of toddlers right now that are used to taking their parents' iPad, clicking on the YouTube Kids app, and watching tons of videos on there, including Ryan's Toy Reviews. With the current YouTube algorithm, it's extremely good to get a high audience retention rate on a video. And guess what group of people watch a video all the way through? Young children, and they're also known to watch a video over and over again, which makes it more successful in the YouTube ratings. I can only dream of getting a fraction of what a lot of these little kid channels receive. This leads to the very interesting point, which is that Google has little kids addicted to YouTube at a very young age, and these kids are eventually going to move on to full-size YouTube and watch people like Filthy Frank. Now I'm by no means an expert with children's programming on YouTube, but looking at the numbers Ryan's Toy Reviews receives, plus the ability for him to get sponsorships, means he could very likely be making $20 million a year. Why advertise on Nickelodeon when children aren't paying attention during the commercial breaks, when you can pay Ryan to open up your toy and have millions of kids watching it? If Ryan's channel continues on at this rate and his parents don't blow the money, which unfortunately happens in a lot of these situations, he's very likely to have $100 million by the time he graduates high school. It's crazy to think that just a few years ago, if a kid wanted to be famous, they would have to star in a Disney Channel sitcom, but now they could just start up a YouTube channel and they won't even have to move to LA to do it. It will be extremely interesting to see what happens to Ryan's channel as he gets older. Will it grow even bigger or just fizzle out? I genuinely don't know. While I didn't make my first YouTube account until I was a teenager, there's now a new generation of kids that won't remember a time without YouTube, which is crazy to think about. Anyway, the point of this video is to tell people to stop saying PewDiePie is the highest paid YouTuber. It's just not true. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. And as for the question of the day, somebody asked me if I'll be getting Pokemon Sun or Moon version, and I will be getting Moon. And I want to thank you again for watching this video, and if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe. So until next time, thank you for watching.
Je peux vous le rendre, Seigneur, Seigneur, car avec les soldats, il est toreros,